Severely impacted by soaring inflation, declining real wages and the escalating cost of living, individual taxpayers are eagerly looking to Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman as the Budget 2024 is scheduled to be presented tomorrow morning. This being a full-fledged budget, unlike the last one, they anticipate the FM to address their concerns. Key expectations include rationalizing the income tax slab rates, raising the Section 80C deduction limit, increasing standard deduction limit, also providing more tax benefits for home buyers and investors, and making adjustments to the new tax regime to enhance its appeal. Policymakers have also been advocating an overhaul of indirect tax rates. The central government is not obligated to consult with the states when adjusting income slabs or income tax rates. However, when considering GST rate cuts, the involvement of states is necessary to reach a mutual agreement on a matter that could impact the revenue of both states and the central government. How will this budget impact the taxpayer? Well, let's open this up. Joining us at this point, Vinod Raval, tax expert. Also with us, Mukesh Gupta, tax expert. Vaibhav Jain, CA and tax expert, is live with us. Ravindra Gupta, banker, also joins us live. Let me quickly bring you in here first. Vinod Raval, what do you make of the anticipation from the middle class that tax slabs could be changed? Are you also anticipating that? Could there be something big vis-a-vis taxation in this budget tomorrow?
Good evening, everyone. Yes, certainly we are expecting a big boost for middle class, since there are so many reasons for that. One reason is this, that middle class has given a blow to the government, which government has felt it, and I feel that there will be some budget of that sort in which the government will understand that you cannot ignore the middle class completely and you cannot go beyond that. So I think one reason is that. The other reason is the inflation. The way inflation is affecting the normal life, it has to be meted out from the other parts, like increase in standard deduction for the salaried employees. All deductions, exemptions has been withdrawn under new regime. However, new regime is a lucrative, we do accept this. But on the other side, there are so many other deductions and exemptions which are really very required, like housing sector, like solar energy, like work from home culture has developed. Now the people are working from home and they need some support to do, because there are expenditure which has increased due to that working at home. So yes, I'm expecting some change in the basic taxation exemption limit, as well as some change in the standard deduction, as well as change in the rates of taxation, because I think a lot of time has passed. After 20% state, the tax rate is 30%, which is a clear jump of 10%. I think this can be adjusted to the corporate, which is already at 25%. So I'm expecting this to go to 25, or another slab to be added after that, which can change it. So yes, I'm certainly expecting all.
All right. Let me, in fact, quickly bring in Mukesh Gupta. Mukesh, what are your expectations from the budget? What are you keenly watching out for? And could there be some big taxation changes? What's the sense you're getting?
Yeah, with the rising GST collection, I think government has a buffer to do the tax shake-up. And we see the standard deduction was revised very couple of years back. And inflation is on every, actually what government need to do is link it up with the inflation. So every year we do this kind of, so then what they should do, actually it will be all the exemptions and standard deductions should be linked with the inflation. So automatically if the inflation is increasing, every year they are increasing it. And we are expecting that the middle class should be benefited, and this 15 lakh limit should go to the 30 lakh. And middle class is really hard pressed, actually, because of inflation and the exposure to TV, their consumption has increased also. So I think government must be listening to this middle class pain.
Yes. Vaibhav Jain, what could we expect in this union budget as far as taxation is concerned? Are you anticipating some major changes?
Manufacturing sector 15% tax rate was left out in the previous extension. So that itself is on the cards. I could see some special benefits coming in for MSME sector. We may see 1 year deferral of the lot of talked about section 43BH, which is creating a big disallowance in hands of lot of people, including myself, I think slab rates are something which all of us are aspiring for. I don't see the minimum exemption limit going up, but I'm very sure that we'll see some room in the slab rates, and standard deduction seems to get expanded, and maybe we may see old regime phasing out this time or next time. I think it's only a matter of time whether this time or next time we'll phase out the old regime. One more important thing is renewable energy sector. There might be certain incentives which might be in store. Similarly, import of CKD components of e-vehicles, because e-vehicles is something which government wants to expand much faster than the manufacturing capability can expand in India. So I see both these sectors. There could be some drastic, changes. There can be some special incentives to boost exports. That's all for now. At the first gut reaction.
Ravindra Gupta, your expectations. What are your sense on ground that you're getting? What could be the major changes that could happen vis-a-vis the taxation structure in this union budget? Are you anticipating a big announcement by the FM tomorrow?
No, in fact, you see that in the last 4 or 5 years, there was a lot of expectations from the personal taxation, but nothing much has been done. But at this moment, this new regime and old regime, though both are parallelly, those are operative. But you see at the 15 lakh rupees, then the benefit of this old regime starts coming to the taxpayers. But at the same time, regarding the banking, that one expectation that really I perceive that that should be there, that every interest that has been taxed and the people, the income has been added to this, their entire income. That need to be some incentive should be given to the FD interest. Those are keeping the funds in the banks. And now in the few months in the year, we have seen that lot of funds have been flying to the this stock market, because the FD interest has been totally taxed and adding to their income, and people are not finding it very remunerative. If the rate of interest is, say, 7%, they're getting out of that 30% tax. If they are coming that 2% interest, that has been less they are getting ultimately. So in the taxation, this is a big area that I am expecting that they should give some incentive to the depositors in the banks.
Yes. Quickly taking that back across to you, Vinod Raval, because at the end of the day, of course, this is something that has been on the anvil because of, a leeway for the middle class vis-a-vis more money for them as well. Spending power increases, obviously consumption goes up, which has a cascading effect on other sectors as well. It's not simply just a lollipop, is it? It's obviously going to have cascading effects as well. It increases the spending power, it gives more money in the pocket, which will obviously help other sectors too.
It starts to, whenever the money comes to the pocket of the normal general public, the GST collection is the clear evidence of that. As I think Mukesh has already explained that the GST collection increase is clearly explaining each and everything, that your spending has gone high. Now the question is, are you putting extra money in the hands of a middle class out of the taxes slab? Because out of 100 rupees, he is already paying 33 rupees, he is getting 67. That is spending on GST and getting back. If you really see, it's more than 80% goes back to the government in one tax or the other. So yes, the clear-cut indication is that if you give more money in the hands of the people, your all infrastructures, including toll for the infrastructure, you goes for the transportation, you goes for the groceries, every sector goes speeds up with the available funds with them. So yes, we have to leave funds with them, but really we are surprised that sometimes they make these kinds of mistakes. I have noticed that in case of handicapped people, there was a section of 80DD and 80U, which was giving a rebate. Even that has been taken away under new regime, and they are really getting a hit with that this is the money they were spending on their treatments or something. So these kinds of things has to be added back. The money has to be given back to the people, to the general public, so they spend it. You have to increase the spending power. This is the normal economics. There is nothing, no rocket science is it. But I think it is being missed in last 2-3 budgets that they are not left with surplus funds. So now you are compelled with to leave with ATC. So you don't invest in ATC, spend it in through the market. So that kind of things are happening. But we have to give free hand to the general public so that they can spend that money, and that spending increases the revenue collection of the exchequer, and that money comes back to the social causes. So it gives a boost to them.
Yes, Vaibhav Jain, also, at the end of the day, of course, the government's numbers have gone down. The BJP's performance from 2019 has dipped, from 2024 has dipped when you compare it to what it stood at in 2019. Do you believe then, for vote bank reasons as well, given the fact that several crucial assembly elections are around the corner, there could be this, this incentive, this leeway, this sort of, good news that could come in for the Aam Aadmi and the middle class in particular?
I think it is imperative for them to deliver right now. And if you see, in recent past, we have seen 53rd GST Council meeting. Have you ever seen such a beautiful, relief from government? We have never seen it. And I think that is the indication of the mood mantra of this new government. I'm sure we are going to see an unprecedented people-friendly budget in this year. Maybe not a people-friendly budget of this kind would have come in last 20 years. I think that is my personal expectations. And I'm very clear, government is in no mood to reduce the tax base. So that's why minimum exemption limit may not go up. But again, the highest slab, which today starts in new regime around 15 lakhs, as Mukesh sir also pointed out, that could go up to 30 lakhs. And we could see a spread over of the 5%, 10%, 15%, 20%, getting it to it, which will save a lot of money at the hands of the people without pushing the taxes slab. And obviously they need to compensate for 80C, 280U and other deductions which they are taking away from the people by way of this relief in the slab rate. So it will be a people friendly budget. Whatever common man is looking for, I think a lot of it should be fulfilled tomorrow.
Yes. How else, could the government possibly boost savings, our savings, Ravindra Gupta? What else could there be in this budget?
Basically, that for the savings, now, what I told you earlier, that a lot of money has been going to the stock markets, and the savings that need to be basically those rate of interest on the deposit. Though they have gone up to 8% now in this banking system. But apart from that, some incentive should more be given to the people for bringing the liabilities in the bank. Deposit is a liability for the bankers, and more deposits are needed at this moment. And some more schemes to be introduced for that.
Yes, well, Vaibhav Jain, okay, let me get in Mukesh Gupta back once again. Mukesh Gupta, this is something that has been on the anvil for a while. Many thought perhaps it would happen in this, in the 2.0 term, but why is this sense coming that, these massive income tax slabs changes could happen in this budget? Why is that sense coming? Has this been building up? Why has it not been done by the government so far? What were they waiting for is again another big question that many are asking.
Probably earlier they were confident of the election winning, and this election result has shaken them. And secondly, if you see the inflation figure which we see, it is mostly consist of this grain and other things. But if you see the medical, travel, education, if you consider that inflation is much way higher than the normal inflation declared by the government. If you put money into the fixed deposit, if you're getting 7.5%, post-tax you are getting 5.5%. Inflation is in the range of 7 to 8%. So anyway, it is a negative in the hand of the investor. Every year, if they are putting money into the fixed deposit, every year money is getting reduced. So that's why that may be the one of the reason why the money is going to the stock market. So this year I may think that probably the bank are hard pressed for the fixed deposit. Government may bring something to increase the deposit base. They may bring some incentive for the some benefit or the interest on the saving deposit or maybe fixed deposit to increase the deposit base. And other way also, if you are seeing the F&O activity and stock market activity reaching at a higher level, And in the F&O, most of the people are losing money. I am expecting some drastic measure may come there also in the capital gain tax.
Yes, just talking now about companies as well. What are they expecting now? We've spoken about individuals, but what about the tax rebates or leeways for companies? What could corporate India be expecting also in this budget, Vinod?
Yes, corporate is also expecting a big boost, and there is a need for that also, because if your infrastructure, solar, AI, lots of things are happening throughout the globe. Even if today's economic survey, if you really see, then they are talking about that China's place is to be taken over by India. If that is the thing, then they have to be incentivized for that. You cannot put the things straight away that they are not getting anything. So tax rates, I don't see that they are going to reduce any further, because it's already been done. For corporate, it's okay. But yes, there are certain incentives which must be on cards for certain areas or corporates, like infrastructure, like aviation, like your hospitality industry, yeah, capital intensive sectors, which really needs a capital boost. People are there to invest for this country. They are thinking of India's story in next decade. But we have to behave the same way. The government has to come out with the innovative ideas to bring them to us, so that the FDIs and everybody comes to us and invest in us. Today, if you see your share markets are booming. There are corrections in 1 or 2 days. I'm not talking about the piecemeal of that. But overall, if you compare 50, every stock is almost 52 weeks high. So these are giving an indicator that people are there who want to invest to you. They are trusting India's story. They want to invest in India, but we have to give them a platform for that. So now this is the high time. I think less than 24 hours is left out now. Let's see what kind of things comes out. But yes, I do expect this should be a people-friendly budget, because there is some election, political compulsions are also there. They have faced some heat in Lok Sabha elections. Now there are certain elections of states also. Even the BJP has a setback in this by-elections. So I think political compulsions are also there. I think the government must be thinking of that also. That is also one part of that. But on the other side, I don't see any freebies coming to anyone. But yes, there are certain areas where we are expecting some lucrative incentives for the industries. Lucrative SEZs are there. They have to create it. Now your home industry needs you. You have already reduced this Section 84 rebate to self-occupied properties. Interest rebate is not there. Others also have had a cap of 2 lakh rupees. So there are restrictions, and they are also looking at. So many areas are there in which we are expecting that government will come out with some good ideas.
Okay, so a lot is being expected and looked at by analysts for this budget. But what further tax incentives, rebates, reductions could we see for corporate India, and which sectors in particular, Vaibhav Jain, could get these reductions?
So I think manufacturing sector, I told you 15% could get extended. Then employment creation, there have been some certain sections of incentive. We could see certain furtherance on that, because obviously the government, their loss was predominantly governed by less employment levels in India. Then dividend taxation currently, in case of India, is there on full rate. I think we could see some special rate for dividend taxation. We could see some relief around angel tax, because that is something which is a good demand from startups as well as all the budding companies which are getting funding from international sources. Then 115 BBE, it is a draconian section, came in the backdrop of demonetization. That I see does not have any utility value today, except empowering officers to take action against the corporates. That needs to go away. Then penalty prosecution of all kinds need to be eased off. They need to give us better environment for the corporate in the country. There is no initiative for the corporate to take risks in the view of the insolvency law, the way it is functioning. They need better environment. They need better ability, better incentives to work and create employment in this country. So I think government needs to look at it from that perspective.
Yes. Is that something that could help corporates as well? The ease of doing business is often spoken about by government. Could we see further measures taken tomorrow for them, Mukesh Gupta?
For the GST, and it's very cumbersome. So many GST rates are happening. I think there has to be some rationalization and this matching of input, and it is a big trouble. I think if they do this one thing in a big way, that will ease the business. That will make the easy way of doing the business. So corporate India is looking for this, and plus there are talks that uh, people are making more money from the stock market by way of capital gain rather than doing the business. So I don't know whether this is good or bad. If you impose more tax on the capital gain, if you increase the capital gain rate, so then capital formation will hit. But if people start making more money from the stock market, then there is less incentive to do the business. So they have to rationalize in such a way that stock market also boom and then manufacturing activity and employment also increases.
Yes. Ravindra Gupta, as far as corporate India is concerned, which sectors could see certain leeways and incentives given to them tomorrow?
Probably that electrical vehicle manufacturing sector. These are the main areas, and battery section, just to promote this manufacturing in the sector that is more important now, and infrastructure obviously, and these sectors get some incentives and some taxation reliefs also.
Yes. Quickly going back across to you now, Vinod, at the end of the day, of course, this tax regime as well. Do you believe that there will be tweaks, or could there be a complete overhaul? Are we headed towards a single tax regime? What could be on the anvil?
Well, actually, I have not seen anywhere in the world having two tax regimes. I think this is the compulsion of the government to take care of the sunset clauses, which was there in the old regime, and they carried it with it. But I think they are not in no way in any mood to carry out with the old regime. Let it go this year or that year, that's a question mark. That maybe I think they have to see which sunset clause is happening for which section. So they have to close it down. But otherwise, there will be only one tax regime. That's a new tax regime only. That will be there. And on the other side, yes, I'm thinking of some tax tweaks will be there because of these compulsions as well as need of the hour, because we need liquidity in the market. We need liquidity in the society, because after demonetization, the way the families are suffering, and now after we have come out of the COVID also, I think this is the best part, that we have come the best way from the COVID, and now we need money. And moreover, the government has already, the Prime Minister has already thought of that way, that we are going to give more money to the people so there is more spend. And I have told you that GST collection is an indicator. Now, society has accepted GST. It has been completely, I think, customized by the business community as well as by the society. So now this is high time that you give some rewards and make the economy more robust and more, you say that this is a tax-paying community. We just need more tax-paying numbers so that we have more numbers. As compared to US, if you talk, there 70% people pay taxes. And here only we pay 6% people pay taxes. So we have to increase the number of people paying taxes. And moreover, they are getting more collections with that. And now GST, since this cannot come in this budget, so we cannot talk on that. But on the other side, they can pass on some few things which can be taken care by the GST Council, and the people are getting benefited by that. So I think, yes, in my opinion, I'm positive on that some tweaks will be there, and this should have been a people-friendly budget. It should be a industry-specific, like EV, AI, your semiconductors, your infrastructure, your aviation, because aviation is going a big way now in this country. So I think lots of things are going to happen, and capital-intensive industries are going to benefit in it. Yes.
Yes, absolutely. Let me, in fact, quickly also get in, Mukesh, on that point, on whether you believe that this big overhaul is likely, or are we just going to be happy with small tweaks?
No, well, I don't believe that there is a big overall. Normally, if we see the last 10-year history, there are only additional incremental reform they are doing it, not in an overall way. So there will be small tweaks here and there, something on the maybe capital gain classification, some restriction on the maybe F&O thing, some benefit may be passed on to the fixed deposit investors, considering FD, if there is a bad need of fixed deposit, cost of capital is rising. So only incrementally we are expecting. Overall, I don't think government is able to do it.
Yes. Okay. Let me get in quick last words then. Vaibhav Jain, quick last word on, whether you also believe it's going to be a game changer, or whether you believe there will be conservative tweaks made here and there.
I think they will not make conservative tweaks, but I think this government is known for announcing long-term incentives, long-term planning, and not giving much to the people in one go. So I think I can always see some long-term measures. Virtual digital assets is one area where some clarity and some reasonable legislation is hoped. Then stock market is definitely showing them gloomy signs in last 2-3 days, because they are asking that let us do something better from them. And incentives around savings need to come back. New regime completely is encouraging a zero saving culture in India, which and savings has protected India in entire recession. So I think we need to have some sort of incentives around savings, even in the continuing tax regime. That is where I see this. Budget is going to be good. People are going to like it.
Yes. Okay. Ravindra Gupta, last word to you.
Promoting the new regime, but in the old regime, there are lakhs of house buyers and the people those have taken the education loan. So they people were getting very good rebates in the old regime. If you start promoting the new regime, then there is a large sector of those service class people or the businessmen. Those have taken the huge loan for the home buyers for the homes and the education. So definitely there is a big hit. That old regime need to be continued, and moreover in the health sector, if you find that people are paying their insurance premium and they're getting the treatment for that, and the old regime they're getting a good benefit, and definitely that need to be taken care of. And at the same time, in the agriculture sector, if you see that there was a big farmers agitation was there, and this budget will definitely have some good announcements for the agriculturists also, farmers also in this budget in the coming tomorrow.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.